So we went to Philly for my friend's bachelor party. This was probably the craziest strip club I've ever been to in my life. It was a bring your own BYOB strip club, first off. And
dangerous.
That was the first warning sign that we should have known. The second one, this woman offered to like Lysol this room in the back for us, and we wanted to go back there. Sign number 2. Sign number 3 was so we see someone else go up, and they're literally pulling out this dude's armpit hairs and stuff like that, and just torturing him. And I'm just in there like, we should probably. I think this is the 3rd sign now, so I think it's good. I think it's a good time to go.
Oh my God!
Hi, I'm Jon Glass, and this is my golden hour.
Water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the 4 deer nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the fire deer attacked. Only Derek, master of all 4 elements, could stop those boys. But when Boston needed him most, he vanished into the enchanted Golden Deer Forest.
Season 4.
And just like that, an episode has started.
Oh man,
I'm gonna become a different person than I was 2 seconds ago.
Shapeshift.
So, yes, that is the new Drake song. Nice. I enjoyed it a lot.
I haven't heard them yet. I heard they're good.
But I saw you doing some sort of tutorial on like having the lo-fi sound, right?
Yes. Well, it was like the quote unquote Drake effect, where it's basically like
I've heard of this effect.
It's a well-known effect in the world of audio. No. Basically, it's a cool thing where, you know, a lot of Drake's records, like you'll hear like the samples kind of in the background, or like the melody in the background, but then it's like it's there but not there. You know what I mean? It's like you can feel it, but you can't always like hear it like that. So it's kind of like a filtering kind of tutorial to show people how you can kind of create the similar idea.
I think I've seen a tutorial, or at least 40 explaining what they did to Tuscan Leather. Is that similar, what you're talking about?
40 obviously, like he's the mastermind behind it. So like he's the one who kind of created the idea and like the the vision for that whole sound. So like there's a video that he does with Machine where he talks about some of that stuff too, which is really dope. And for this one, I kind of wanted to show like kind of another roundabout way to kind of achieve the similar way.
He was like, you speed up the sample 6 times, and you rewind it, then you speed it up again, put a filter on it. That's pretty much what
lower the sample rate, all that good
and
stuff.
I'm just over there, my mind's getting blown like this. Like, what is this guy talking about?
Contort it, make sure that if you see a Burger King, you went too far. That type of stuff,
Producer talk.
Exactly.
Hey, Frank, would you mind just helping pull these down real quick? I just don't want a massive truck to come by and absolutely obliterate us. Oh, I'm sorry, that was rude of me. Abu, swing on up and just smile for the cam. We don't want any elephant in the room. We're elephants. Frank, quick smile. 2 handsome dudes. So, do you want to explain kind of who you are, where you come from, what you do?
Yeah, my name is Jon Glass. I'm a music producer, mainly out of Beverly, Massachusetts. Also have a small recording studio in Beverly. Did a lot of early artisan development for a lot of artists in the area. Also do engineer work, tour DJing, a little bit of everything.
And you completely run your own studio, correct?
Yes, yeah. It's a small spot, but yeah, basically keep it running. Have a great team though too. SK as well, who's been a great help at the studio. We're the Suicide Squad partners as well, and then also our buddy Sean, who's intern there, but now has been like helping out there as well.
So at what point, I mean, because you've been at it for a long time, where you're like, you know what, I'm going to have to acquire kind of a business sense when it comes to this? Because essentially you're totally self-employed, correct?
Yeah, and that kind of like happened, sometimes you plan for that, sometimes it just happens, you know what I mean? But the business stuff is something we definitely learned on the fly, and it's something I highly recommend for anybody interested in pursuing any career. Learn the business first.
In a capitalistic society.
Yeah, because I feel like in order to sustain this for like the longest period of time, you really gotta find ways to do that, and the best way to do that is by knowing the business. And so like when you know that, and then you can create well, everything else will fall into place. So like the business to me was something that we started after a few years, but then are constantly learning more and more every year. We're now established with like an LLC now and stuff, so learning that whole process and how to upkeep all that's been a learning process, to say the least. But at the same time, it's well worth it, and it will pay, in the long run.
So with that LLC, it means that John can like go to Chipotle and write it off.
Dude.
It's just a little business trip.
Yeah, a couple of burritos on the house. You know what I'm saying?
I like a couple burritos and Uncle Sam.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Real easy. So, kind of what John Scott did when he had started out being an engineer and starting a studio is he kind of based his entire business around his personal career.
Definitely.
So Phoenix Down is now a prevalent studio because he became a pop-in engineer first.
Yep.
Was that kind of the goal for you? And you're like, I gotta kind of find a permanent space.
That was it, yeah. Because I used to run everything out of like my mom's crib, years and years ago.
It's
and,
admirable, man.
And she was amazing. She's always been incredibly supportive and stuff like that. We'd be rocking till like 4 a.m. Just going hard with the music. I get out of work and just go all night. You know what I mean, with that stuff. So like it definitely needed a place. You know what I mean?
So you were having like rappers like smoking and drinking coming into your mom's crib?
Not like we'd be smoking outside or something like that. But respectfully, of course. But yeah, it was a work environment. You know what I mean? Everybody was there having a good time and making sure that we could create the best music possible. And I think there was something great about that too.
So was there ever a point where she was like, John, this is too much, man?
Well, I think she never said it, but you could, she was always again super supportive. So she would never be like, she sometimes when it came to like certain upkeep or like if somebody maybe stepped outside of the boundaries that were kind of allowed at the space and stuff like that, maybe there was some things like that where she wasn't as happy. You know what I mean? But overall, she was always mad supportive of it. And then when I was able to find a space, she was like, I'm very happy you found a spot.
Big sigh of relief.
Yeah, exactly. So it was good.
Was it yeah, there was never any instances where there was like Henny bottles in the bushes, blunt wraps in the garage.
And that's the thing. Like everyone that came through always showed like that mutual respect for the house but also for the space that we created and know that it's something special that we could do there that if people abuse it would be taken away. So.
And this was in Beverly?
This is actually in Danvers at the time.
So John is repping the North Shore.
Yes, North Shore.
So North Shore is like from here, Frank. I'm sure Boo is familiar, but it's like north.
The North.
Of here.
Yes, exactly.
You're the king of the North.
Anywhere north of Boston, basically, yeah.
But where does it stop? Like Manchester by the Sea?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like Manchester, Rockport is like out that way, but then you can go probably even as far as like New Hampshire and stuff like that. Lawrence is, I guess, considered North Shore and stuff out there too.
When I picture North Shore, I picture like the Liberty Tree Mall.
Yeah, that's in the North Shore Mall. You know what I mean?
Is that what it's called?
Well, there's those two. There's those two like right across from each other. We used to hop malls when we were kids.
Oh, you had DC shoes on? Your Heelys?
We used to skate across, on our heels. It's so
Let's
funny.
go to Zoomies, man.
We were just talking about soap shoes the other day. Do you remember soap shoes with they had like the grind plates on them and stuff? Yeah, good times.
You were never a skater?
No, I never skated really. I had friends that did, but I just never really got into it like that. I was always into sports.
Like what?
I did like.
I was gonna say, if you look at this hat like briefly, it looks like a Blackhawks hat, but it's not.
It's not. This is actually the homie Crime Apple, an amazing artist out of New Jersey.
That's fire.
Phenomenal artist. You guys should definitely check him out. But yeah, it's one of his piece of merchandise items. Really, really dope. Always like to support other good homies.
Do you have a GDP shirt yet?
I do. I actually got one at the first mixer you guys did.
Right, I'm gonna get you another one.
Please, I love it.
I think I have one in the car.
I appreciate.
We got new gear coming, everybody. Whoa, that's a hint. Whoa.
I gotta get you some too. I gotta get you some squad gear.
I was gonna say you didn't come with gifts, bro.
Oh, I do. They're in the car.
Okay.
I got a whole thing full.
I like that. Hum Beats came up here with a box. Have you seen the Hum Beats box?
I did not, but that's official. He's always official. So I definitely I don't. I can imagine. I don't deny it.
Yeah, he had a shoe box of stuff, and we have socks, car fresheners, just random. It's smart branding though.
That's ill. See, that's different. Different's dope. Like I think different's where it's at. You know what I mean? Do something that's like unique.
Well, I think your career path is pretty different, being from the North Shore.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like the go-to place for hip hop all the time that you think of all the time, but it's been around forever, and like that's what's cool about it. Like a lot of guys like that I came up listening to, like Terminology and Rex, are from Lawrence. We got guys like 7L and Esoteric who grew up literally like down the street from where I lived and stuff. So that stuff really started the imprint for me.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to slow that down in terms of like these figures because I've kind of when I was throwing the show at the Middle East and like kind of around the Middle East, I started to pick up on more of these figures in Boston music that I didn't really know about.
Absolutely.
But these were like, when you're talking about like terminology and like, I'm imagining like Static Selecta, and like this crew. Can you kind of elaborate on who they are and like their place?
Absolutely. I feel like are you
familiar with this? Yeah,
like growing up from the area, I feel like Mass is known for like kind of having that like East Coast boom bap sound, like when I was first coming up. You know what I mean? Now I think it's great because Massachusetts has always been such a hub for just music in general, having Berkeley here and all that stuff too. But then now it's just like a hub for music, not just
commercialized though.
No, I feel like something special is being created here. Something like, and I think that it's transitioning into commercial stuff too. But it's also like it's not like quote unquote commercial music. You know what I mean? It's just like we're making music that happens to cross over into commercial worlds. So but that's what's dope. Like I feel like it started with like Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs and those guys, and then Guru was originally from Massachusetts.
What's the year on this?
These is like early 90s, late 80s type.
So you were
stuff.
following music back then?
I mean, I didn't get into honestly hip hop till I was like a little bit older. It's probably till like I was probably in 5th grade was probably when I could really say like I started to really be like, ooh, what is this?
Yeah, you were pretty old in 5th grade, bro.
I was 10. You know what I mean? But I feel like
you still had a beard.
Yeah, you know it. You know what I'm saying? No, but like back then though, like it was cool because I was just even now, like I just love music. You know what I mean? So like I grew up listening to like when you're young, you always listen to what your parents listen to first. You know what I mean? So I grew up listening to the Beatles, Bruce Springsteen, and then like reggae would get thrown in there, a bunch of random stuff. So like that's kind of the stuff that I would first listen to. And then when I like started kind of figuring out music, like hip hop was one of those things I was like, yo, what is this? This is really cool. Like the beats really intrigued me and the songs really intrigued me. And so I always like to figure out like who's from the area, and so that created that sort of thing. So that's when you kind of just do the research and just kind of learn your history, and it's dope. Like figuring all that stuff out. Where I ended up like learning about, like I said, Ed O.G. and Term and Static and these guys and Guru, who really like laid the groundwork for like Massachusetts, New England hip hop for like out here.
I was gonna say, it seems like people don't necessarily recognize that because when they picture Boston music, they picture like Cousin Stiz and like Melfi, but there were figures beforehand.
Definitely,
who you're referring to.
But that's what's really cool though. It's like I'm in like this weird spot where it's like one of my good friends, Ludi's like I feel like the little bro and big bro all the time. You know what I mean? Because you're kind of caught in between those generational gaps. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're right. There's so much new age, like new style of music that's been coming out that people consider that the sound of Boston now. So it's like really dope to see like how everything's kind of developed. Yeah, the progression of everything. So like I think that's really, really dope. And so it's exciting, you know what I mean? And if anything, it only like motivates us as creatives to just continue to inspire and continue to push the envelope and create like stuff that really pushes everything forward for the culture.
So when it had started, I'm assuming the Middle East was kind of that spot, right? That's where everything was going down.
That's like always been such like a hip hop staple as far as I know. You know what I mean?
That was like when Leeds had kind of had that stronghold.
He's always been the first person that like doing like the real hip hop shows that I've been familiar with out here. Like always at like the Middle East. I know he brought out I think he was doing I think he brought out Eminem years and years ago. Like so it's like stuff like that. Like he's always been huge.
I might sound brain dead, but I think the Rolling Stones might have played there once.
That you could be 100% right, honestly. Like
Isn't that wild?
It's insane. You know, if you think about it. You know,
it's crazy. They've had crazy acts in there. I was outside the Middle East for the Doja Cat show. Which was huge.
That's awesome.
But the Middle East is a real staple.
100%.
Like have you thrown a show at the Middle East? I'm sure, or done something over there. Sonia's
dope too. That's the new one right next to there as well. Great venue too. Like the sound's really good in there.
Very open and spacious.
I like because I think what was it, TT and the Bears? I think they had the big fire there, and then like that burnt down, and then they didn't know what was going to happen if they were going to have another venue there, and then I think that they ended up building Sonia, which was awesome.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So what was there, a restaurant right there?
It was like a smaller venue, and like they used to have kind of more like indie shows there and stuff like that. But all genres.
Middle East ownership.
They were kind of like attached. I think it was separate owners, but I'm not 100%. But I know that they kind of like worked together closely. It was really dope.
And now Yeah, so people don't really understand this about the Middle East. There's like 6 venues or 5 venues in one venue.
Yeah.
It's just like a circus madhouse. It's awesome.
And falafel. So it's
some
awesome.
food.
And some burgers and some
In the
falafel.
middle of Central Square.
Right in Cambridge.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's another hint. Whoa. It's a hint. It will make sense in like 3 weeks. Whoa. It's a hint. So what is the time frame on that period? And like what role were you playing at the time?
I mean,
not in 5th grade, but I'm sure like when did you kind of start getting your hands deep into stuff?
Yeah, like so when I went to school at 18 to Wentworth, and that was when I really kind of discovered production. And like I never dabbled with it before, never even tried. Like my family was always musically inclined. I played drums a little bit when I was younger, but like never really did much other than the bass drum and just kind of kept tempo because I was the only kid in my class that could keep the tempo. So like other than that, I didn't really have any musical experience. But freshman year, got a cable modem at school and just went crazy with music and just fell in love with it. And
what is a cable modem?
See. All right, so this is
wild. You know what this is, Abu?
All right, so this is crazy. This definitely dates me. This is awesome. All right, so like so 56K was like the old modems like back in the day. Like you literally one song to download used to take a half an hour. Like it was wild. You know what I mean?
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm starting to fall. You keep going.
And so that's what I grew up with, like my whole life, like having the craziest like internet, like if you
like LimeWire days,
yeah, like you get a phone call and you get kicked off and stuff like that, and like get off the internet, we need the phone, and like all those
dial
things.
tone,
yeah, dial tone, all that, real, it was real, and so I never had the luxury of the fast internet. So when I went to school, it was like open the floodgates, and it was like, here you go, here's access to the internet. It felt like,
So
what I mean?
What was this cable modem?
So basically that's what it was called. It was like a cable modem, which was it felt like a million times faster than what I was used to, and then you could just go crazy on that. So I would go and download so much music,
so much Gwen Stefani.
Oh my god, my favorite. You know what I mean?
So much Pink, man.
Yo. Just the best, you know what I mean?
Am I in the right time frame?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. No, you're right in there. You know what I mean? Now that's what I called music, and JoJo was popping. You know what I mean?
JoJo.
It was great, man. Those were the days.
Who else?
Fallout Boy was killing it then.
Gavin DeGraw.
Hey man, he's still killing it. Gavin
DeGraw.
Bush is like one of those groups that will like Glycerine will be played at like grandparents like when we become grandparents will still be played type of thing.
I don't wanna be anything.
Love it.
And well, I'm just trying to think because I think this period was the same period where VH1 they had their countdown.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
So, was it Hoobastank? Reason?
Yeah, yes. all these groups, man. Linkin Park, all that stuff.
I was throwing it back.
So this was like 04. This was actually the when the Red Sox first won the World Series. So this was like my first time living in Boston, and it was just like an amazing year. So this is when like everything I felt like kind of clicked. Like being in the city, being around like everything like that, and then being around the music and stuff, and then finding a cracked version of Fruity Loops on this cable modem accessed internet. I was like, man, it's game over. You know what I mean? So I was there for drawing and just found myself listening to music all day long, all night long, just drawing. But then I discovered Fruity Loops and switched the game for me. And so after that, I stopped going to school for industrial design and switched it up and started pursuing music. That was it.
So then how do you kind of get involved in what's going on in the city? How do you go from dorm boy John to like John going to Middle East and producing and like?
I mean, I think that's where it starts. Just getting out there, just being out there. You as a creative, you start kind of making all your stuff in your room or in your bedroom or your dorm room and stuff, and then once you start to feel more confident about it, you want to meet other people. So you start to kind of go in different shows and stuff. For me, it started with a couple kids I went to school with. We ended up like forming a group, and we every weekend we'd get together. Whether I'd go to Boston or go to Brockton, where they lived, for like 2-3 years straight every single weekend. And I would bring all my recording equipment and all my production equipment and just go out there, get out of work at like 11, drive to Brockton, step to like 4 a.m. working on beats. Next morning, start recording from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. all day, all night for that day, and then drive home and then just do the work week again, and I would do school, and that's what it was. And so that was it for 3 years, and then parted ways with the group, and then from there, kind of was like, all right, I kind of want to like figure out a home for my own production. So that's kind of how we started Glasshouse, and had a couple of friends that I had known just been doing their thing for a little while, and like just from way back in the day. So we just kind of started it became like a home for quote unquote outcasts, people that necessarily didn't have a home or another place for them to go. Or didn't really feel part of the scene, I guess. So we kind of took in a bunch of those type of people, and all of a sudden we had 11 artists under the roster. And then we met a group of kids that were younger, and then that included a young Colin Mitchell, a young Trey Peace, and then a young Token. And so they were 13, 14, and 17. And then from there,
how old were you?
I was, let me think. So I'm I think I'm 13. So I was probably 26, 27 at the time.
And so you were bringing up these.
Yeah. So I met them, and basically I used to go to a barbershop, leave my business card there. One of my buddies that used to own the shop. And I met them, and they came through one day. They left the CD there because they and I ended up listening to it a month later. It was in my car. So I ended up calling the number, and it ended up being Colin Mitchell, who's 14 years old. And I was listen, I don't know what I can do, but maybe we can meet up, and I can hear more about what you guys got going on, and see what I can help along the way and stuff. So
he's we hate school.
At the time,
we want to just be rappers, man.
And that's that's the classic I guess when you're young, you know what I mean? You just want to do what you love, you know what I mean? And that's what they loved. But at the same time, they had good heads on their shoulders. It was more so just helping them, I guess, steer them in the right direction when it came to just skipping certain steps when it came to music, and just helping even when it came to school. Token really didn't need it, but some of the other guys, if they needed any encouragement or any help with school, just being able to help with those sort of things too. And but it was cool because with that sort of thing, I didn't have anybody when I first started. So I felt maybe if I could help them skip a few years of aggravation and falling on their face, maybe we can expedite their process a little bit quicker. And so really proud of just everything we've been able to do as a group, and just with everybody individually. And not everybody's creating music now, but all still really good friends. So it's been really, really dope.
I feel I just heard your life story.
Yeah. So, long story short.
So I'm going to just bounce around a little bit. So how much for you has being personable helped you as a producer? Because I feel traditionally people on the production end of things can often get consumed in their software and in their project, but you kind of know how to talk to people. So has that your ability to network helped you a lot? Because I feel a lot of other producers could probably benefit from this. Yeah,
I feel that's everything, honestly. Being able to I think relationships are huge, and being personable to me is super important and genuine, not just fake personable, but really just being real, and just I think is super, super, super important. And I think people can feel that authenticity, you know what I mean? Especially when you're in the room with them, via text or email sometimes, where a lot of music is a lot of created nowadays. It's not always easy to get that.
Frustrating, right?
Yeah, because sometimes you might have the best intentions in the world, but it doesn't always come off like that in a text or in an email if you're not.
You should see my DMs, bro.
Yeah, so it's it's tough, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So but I always felt being personable, being real and genuine, especially when it came to being in person with people, is always the most important thing. Building those relationships and really trying to really get to know the person. I think when I do sessions, it's more so I like to really sit down with people. I went to this Terrace Martin Speak at Harvard event recently that they did, and he talks about, I think when you're working on an album, it's important to really eat dinner together. And I think that's an undervalued resource, or something that's really important when it comes to creating.
What if you're fasting?
Then not doing it together. Not eating
Fast
together. Yeah, exactly.
Bleed through your eyes together.
Yeah, just stare each other down till you guys are both just not hungry anymore.
I'm not going to call anyone out, but I had a business meeting once. I sound like such a dick, but I had a business meeting once where I was trying to secure this big deal for myself. Mm-hmm. And who I was trying to secure the deal from was hey, let's eat lunch, right? So he sat down, and mind you, I'm heavy on fasting, right? I have two hilarious fasting stories, but I'm very heavy on fasting. And so he gets this fat plate of shish kebab and probably 4,000 calorie plate. And he was kind of a big dude. Mm-hmm. And then he orders it. And I'm yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not eating, I'm fasting. And he took it as such blatant disrespect. And so in retrospect, and I didn't close the deal. And so in retrospect, I was there is a certain sense of bonding that people do over eating. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Food and music to me has always been the best conversation starters. You know what I mean?
You have food in the stew?
I love food. I used to cook in restaurants. I used to be like in the restaurants for like mad long before like like doing this full time. So like I just love it. I got a barbecue grill out front of the studio, literally like doing sessions like or whatever.
That's fire.
Yeah,
literally.
No,
Wood fire grill.
Yep.
Bertucci's. So okay, so this period of music happens with all these quote unquote older heads.
Yeah.
So what happens after this? Because you're someone, as you were saying, you're kind of caught in the center of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen everything kind of grow. You're kind of like a guru, like a wise man. And you're coming from the North Shore, so you're seeing it from fresh eyes, right?
Definitely.
So what happens first? When was Benzino popping?
So that was kind of before my time, was the Benzino stuff. So like that was like, but that was dope. I love hearing about that era. As far as like when he was kind of like really doing this thing with like Made Men and those guys out here, because that was like a whole different era where like, people used to come to Boston and get their chains snatched and like shit was crazy out here. So like,
that's hilarious.
But it was like real though, because it would have to be like a respect thing. You know what I mean? You have to come to Mass and show respect to like the other people who used to, who laid the groundwork here. You know what I mean? If they didn't, people would take that as disrespect and act accordingly. You know what I mean? I just remember hearing the stories and like it's cool. Like I've had friends that have just been and seen a lot of that even prior to things that I had seen. So like I've heard just some incredible stories about that. But I remember when Benzino and M were going at it, it was just like one of those things that it was tough because like being from Boston, you're like, damn, those guys are killing us right now. You know what I mean? And so like it was tough, but like it was dope to see. The city in the headlines like that, even if it wasn't for the best circumstances at the time, but at the same time, like I feel like that kind of put a spotlight on what was happening around here a little bit more, which is pretty cool.
So the Benzino period happens, and then this terminology.
Yep. So I remember 06.
So sonically, this is very different from what I know. It's like very like freestyle, cipher based, like boom bap beats, kind of
very boom bap,
like Miracle Diabolical. I'm the lyrical.
Definitely a lot of that, but also too like there was a lot of really good content as like with that too. Like I loved like listening to like M. Rex, Terminology, Acrobatic. Like a lot of those guys are some of the around that generation, around that time. Like and they made amazing music, still continue to make amazing music. And like I remember 06 here and Watch How It Go Down, which was like a Terminology record produced by DJ Premier, who's like one of the greatest producers in my opinion. And so like when I heard that record, it was like really, really amazing to me hearing someone from the area with that like kind of, production and just hearing that record, which to me is still like an amazing song like years and years later. So it's been like 12 some odd, 13 years later, and it's still to me something that he performs like every show and never gets sick of it. And that goes for like a lot of those guys. Like there's songs that are on their catalog that like I never ever get sick of them hearing them perform those. So like that period happened, like you said, and then I feel like there was a shift around. I remember back they did this top 15 artists to come out of Boston, and Double XL put this on, and it was everybody from like Dutch Rebel to Michael Christmas, Hefe Replay.
Yeah, so there was like a 4 or 5 year gap.
Yeah, but like it was cool because like that kind of bridged that, because it kind of let people know it wasn't just boom bap, like embrace more than just what the boom bap sound was at the time, what everyone knew Boston for, that there was more coming out than just that. So like when that show happened, you had all the different genres and styles meshed together, but all representing the top 15 are like, according to Double XL that would come from the area. So like that was really cool to see, and they had like
familiar
and stuff.
I'm familiar with this era.
Yeah, so like that was.
But when did you start really figuring out what was going on? For me, it's probably around that time. For me, and I think for most people, it's probably when Shout Out came out.
And that was huge. I feel like
so dope, dude.
And like
awesome.
Tim and Mike and Stiz and all them, like they've been killing it. Like as far as like everything from like the marketing to when that project came out, like you couldn't go anywhere in the area without hearing that, whether it was at a show, at a venue, even like just like the social media. Like I remember they had the Fresh Prince video, and like they had like, but it was just the song playing. They had like these skits of like the guy who was like pretending he was blind just so he could like walk the girl across the street.
I remember that.
And that was like a dope video, and it was like catchy, and like it was like all those different content and forms of media. It was really
very
so
organic.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the best word for it. It was just really cool, and the city really got behind it, and like not just the city, but even just the state in general. And like it was just really awesome to see. And like you said, it wasn't just boom bap anymore. It was like those people realizing that this is a different sound, coming from the same areas and stuff like that, but also like telling a different story in a different way, which was really dope, and like showing just like so much more to what was happening in Mass.
Yeah, what that reminded me of, that video, that skit. So it was actually Jerry Perp Drink, I believe, who's actually from, I think, Brockton.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that.
But he was one of the first Vine stars.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had a video that was like a blind dude. And he was like grabbing a chick's ass, right?
And it was a lovely one, too, at that.
Yeah,
Like,
and it was to Fresh Prince. And so it kind of helped boost the song online, which was a Big Cousin Stiz song. It reminds me of when we just had that dude. We just had a guy who was really heavy on TikTok up here.
Yep.
He said his friend Nice Michael was the one who made the original sketch to Old Town Road, which made it go viral. So it's just different platforms, very similar.
Totally.
Are you guys hot? Anyone hot? You don't have to hit it. Are you hot? Okay, you good?
Chilling.
I'm not hot. I'm fine.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. So that period happens. And,
yes.
And so are you just totally camped out on the North Shore this whole time, or?
I mean, like we're always going to shows and stuff like that at the time and stuff. I'm going back and forth I'm traveling everywhere at this time pretty much. Like I'm going to Boston all the time, going to Brockton. I'm never afraid to travel to meet people. Like honestly, I feel like that's huge. Like you got to get out, you know what I mean? So like I'm big on going out and meeting people and stuff like that. So at this time, like if I just like people's music, again, like being a fan, if I just like someone's music, I'm gonna reach out to them. Like I don't really, whether quote unquote big or not, like if I just like someone's music, I just want to reach out and just see like what's going on, see where their head's at, and hopefully
I'm gonna
see
keep
what
it a
we
buck.
can do.
You would DM me, but I'd never seen your face, and so when you showed up to the first event, you're like, "Yo, what's good, bro?" I was like, "What's good, dog?" Like, "Yo, bro, I'm Jon Glass, bro. I'm here for the influence event." I was like, "Oh, word, bro. Great, good looks, dog." And then you came in, and we had an event in the back of a gym.
And it was awesome.
It was great, dude. It was really great.
I think it was a great starting point, and honestly, like got to meet in person, met Mike.
You've been working with Mikey Bonkers. What's that like?
Yeah, and it's been awesome. Like Mike came down to the studio after we met there and stayed in touch, and we basically started creating like a working relationship where we can help provide the music.
The network reach is 10 million plus.
But Mike's energy is awesome. Like he really he's just so charismatic, and it's just like he just really he makes
fucking crazy.
It's awesome. I love it, But I'm big on energy. Energy you can feel, it's something like you can really feel. You know what I mean? And like I love that. I think that's mad important.
I was very impressed with Frank actually the first time he really had a meeting with Mike, because Mike's like, "We got to do this, we got to do that. Let's get this done. Come on." And Frank was just very calm. He's like, "So what do you want, man? How can I help you?" I was very impressed, bro.
It's the balance.
Because the first time I met Mike, I was like, "Someone get this kid a tranquilizer, bro. This kid is nuts." So, that was dope. So this 14-15 period happened. So when do you start working with like Token, and how did you get for all the rapidy rap fans out there, including Frank, how did you start working with Joyner Lucas too?
Yeah, so basically I met like Colin and Token and Trey when they were like 13, 14, 17. So like that was Ben's about to be 21 this year, so that was about like 2012 or so, or 2012ish, around that time. So at this time we had already had Glasshouse going. We basically absorbed a bunch of other artists that are from the area that we were friends with and stuff like that, and then we just done our very first tour, and then we teamed up with
East Coast tour.
Boston tour? Exactly. We did like New Hampshire, Boston, Rochester, and we did Cleveland, Ohio as well.
And were these like small shows, or was your boy Token having those big viral vids at this time?
So actually,
every time that dude drops a video, it goes fucking viral, bro.
Oh yeah, and this was actually like right around this time. This was like right before, I think right before we met those guys. So we just did the tour, and then we came back and we were kind of working on what was next. Or it was like right around the time we met them. They didn't end up coming on tour. They were just too young at the time, and we didn't really have that relationship you have with the families to be like, we're gonna bring them out on the road and stuff like that.
We're gonna be smoking weed and I'd be drinking a little bit, but
no. But even with that though, that's something that we always were very aware of, and knowing that with the age difference and stuff like that. And I was always really, it was important to me to if I were ever had them in under my watch, quote unquote, that I would look out for their parents' best interest, but also
Make
their
sure
best
they're
interest.
comfortable.
Yeah, but
they were probably fascinated by it though, dude.
I mean, I think just trying to bring these guys everywhere, like every studio we go to, bring them as many trips as possible, like later on and stuff, and like we used to do Cali together, Buffalo, like all sorts of trips and stuff like that. So like, obviously it's really amazing being that age and seeing like a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? And obviously I think it just inspires and encourages you just to keep doing more and more. So that was really dope. So like we had done that, and then he started putting out a ton of his own videos. Token was doing that, and then it was kind of wild just seeing everything kind of like catapult. Like it started with like kind of the ciphers and the contests, and he was winning contests and stuff. But a lot of it came down to like the marketing, how we would like title things, to the timing of which he would put out videos. He was always really big on, like, I remember the Rap God was one of his biggest ones when he was 15. As soon as the song came out, within a week, he put like another video together of him rapping on the mic and put that out, and like labeled it like the certain way, like titled it the right way that 15-year-old like does Rap God.
Oh, he titled that himself.
Yeah. So like he was always big on that, and then like that's something that was just huge, So he started that, like, and then that kind of really just kind of saw like the kind of the floodgates open, and then from there we kind of figured out like, okay, there's like not a formula, but a formula when it came to like the marketing of certain things, and then reaching out to other Facebook pages and things like that, and just kind of guerrilla marketing from all angles and stuff.
I think you guys branded it really well.
Yeah, it was
smart.
awesome.
It was really smart way to brand it. Like look at this mad young white kid who can rap, and there were, I remember there were mad comparisons to Eminem, but like I feel like you embraced it.
Yeah, like I mean,
dope.
You kind of have to some extent, because like it was one of those things like they never really talked like.
It helped though.
Most of the comments came like about like his look, or like stuff like that, size, or things of that sort. Never really about the quality of his rapping. His rapping was never questioned. You know what I mean? But then when you think of white good rappers, you think of Eminem. You know what I mean? So it's like it's natural.
And Yellow Wolf.
And Yellow Wolf, which he also like did some of those remixes and stuff too. So it's like
and I like MGK.
Yeah,
I like MGK.
MGK has his moments. You know what I mean? He's got his moments.
He's a psycho, bro. I fuck with it. He's like total energy. I loved his Funk Flex freestyle.
I never saw that. That's something I gotta check out.
It was vicious.
Okay, I believe
he's just pissed, bro. He starts rapping like, I just want to slam my head through the window.
His flow's dope. I'll give him that. Like I love his flow, and like how he was like really inspired like by Bone Thugs and stuff. You could hear that like when he first came out and stuff. Like I was a huge Bone Thugs fan growing up, so like I don't know. I love that from him being like the Midwest guy. Like I definitely like that sort of thing. But I don't know. MGK. I don't know. I mess with him, but he's not my go-to, I guess.
You're not bumping him in your whip. I get it.
He's not my go-to bumping artist.
I feel you.
But he's dope.
So you're like the Godfather. You're raising up these figures.
However you want to look at it, yeah, I guess.
John, the Godfather. John Pacino.
John Pacino. just trying to do my best to trying to like create the best opportunities for these guys, while also like being there to help with anything else that may be needed. As far as like I said, but also being able to be trustworthy to their parents and stuff like that, to know that they're in good hands, and know that I can, hopefully do the best I can to give them the best opportunities I can for them. So,
kind of what John Scott has hinted at, and my guy Josh, Josh, right?
Josh is the man.
They've hinted at it's kind of an engineer's dream to start with an artist young and be able to nurture and develop them. That's kind of like the gold standard. That's what most engineers want. I mean, you're also a producer too,
and that's what was cool too, because we started kind of creating a sound. You know what I mean? And even for me, this was honestly like a huge point for me, even as a producer, because I, like you said, I came from a background of really boom bap, really East Coast hip hop, and so at this point, I can't necessarily just make those beats for some of these guys. We have a roster now of 11 artists, so it's not everybody's gonna like just East Coast boom bap. So it really got me to branch out and make so many different sounds. And so as a producer and engineer, it was awesome to be able to work with these artists, like you said, in their infancy stages, to really help develop them, not only with sonics, but like engineering and even it was very reciprocal. You know what I mean? I was learning a ton of myself on the fly with all this stuff. So it was really great just to grow together with all these guys, and we all just felt like we were learning from each other at the time, and it was just incredible. It's that like you said, like doing that from the start is huge, because
but also on a commercial. Who's this? Someone here? It's Bix. Oh, so this is who runs everything. Did you ever meet Jack?
Yeah,
Jack,
absolutely.
Just come in.
We met at the events.
I haven't seen Bix in weeks. This is great. What time is it? Bix, just get in. We're in the middle of the interview. You remember John?
Good to see you. Good, how are you?
Jack, this is a boo. You sit next to a boo. No, you can sit in, bro. Just squeeze it on in. So for you, was it a matter of like, I see potential?
Yeah, 100%. With all of them, you know.
Even
what
though
I
he
mean?
was 13, bro.
But that's the thing.
You're a
like,
culture vulture, bro.
no, like I always feel like I'm good at like. I feel like I always had a good ear for music, and so like I always saw like I'm big also too on personality and not just like the rapping, but how people rap. And like he was 15 and he had personality. I mean, I'm sorry, he was 13 and still had like personality when he rapped. You know what I mean? More so even than some people have been doing it for like 10, 20 years. You know what I mean? So like. There was something there, and even with Colin and Trey too, like they all had something, like they all still have something, you know what I mean? Where it's like their drive and all these things, like and like there was something special there.
Hey, look, John. That's John Scott. He's here.
See, I knew John was gonna be here. That's
Word.
awesome. So like
It's a family reunion.
I
bro.
love it. I love it. The John's in the building. It's beautiful. So like
his first name's John.
see, now it really feels like Three's Company. This is great. This is great. I love it.
Guess what my first name is?
John? No, Connor.
No, it's John, bro.
Oh my god. Mind blown emoji.
4 Johns. We should start a band.
I'm with it. The 4 Johns.
That sounds a little perverted.
That sounds a little sketchy. My bad. I kind of ruined that one. Bad band names. I'll go on that list. I'll go on that one.
4J. J to the 4th power.
Fuck. Damn it.
So, where, at what point, because I feel like you've built everything on longevity. At what point are you like, this is kind of what I want to do with everything going on? Because I feel like you, for the longest time, you've developed a business, which is fire. And I think a lot of people can learn from that. But, like, you've overseen everything. You've had longevity in what's going on. So, like, where do you want to take it?
I mean, end goal, I guess, is to still, production is still, like, where my heart is. I love producing. There was a point where I almost gave it all up to just, like, I started this because I wanted to work in the music industry in some capacity. I didn't know what it was going to be. I just knew I loved music and I wanted to work in it in some way. So that's where I started producing because that's what I fell in love with first. I started becoming an engineer second because I feel like that would give me more longevity and also help me get into certain rooms to meet people to then be able to shop the beats. But then also I started forming a group to then like create a group that we can release music under in case it wasn't always easy to reach out to people. And like you said, like with emails and stuff like that, not everyone could connect as easily. So then we had a group that we started making to do all that sort of stuff. Then like we would tour. And so like I feel like I've done a lot of the things I've always wanted to do, but now it's like I'm ready to like continue to produce. I really want to, create like another platform like which we have with Suicide Squad to bring artists in to like help release and distribute the music. But also I feel like, since I've always really loved artist development, something I want to continue to do, whether it's people who have been, doing it for a while that are still continuing to develop new sounds and new work, or people who are just coming up that I feel like still like I see potential in and stuff like that. Like I just love seeing people grow and progress in the stuff that they love to do. So like that's something I always want to have like a hand in as far as like helping others and stuff like that. But I also see like other mentorship programs. We do the classes now at the studio. So
that's fire. That's
I'm big on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the fact that you offer courses,
yeah,
is like dope business idea. You know how many young kids probably want to learn how to mix and master,
and that's it. I feel like now everything's so accessible. So it's like. As being in that climate, that in between, where it's like you have like the old heads complain about the young heads complain about the old heads, quote unquote. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do we change that? But we try and bridge the gap by helping people learn more about why everyone creates the way they do it, why they tell the stories they do, and so like helping people like educate them when it comes to creating great quality stuff. It's like when it comes to classes or even just songwriting or anything like that. It's like the best way you're gonna do that is by like working and talking to people. You know what I mean? You're not gonna just do it just by like posting and hating on people. It's just like you gotta find other ways to communicate and get to fill that void.
You're a great dude, man. Honestly,
I appreciate it.
You should have really kind energy to you, man.
I appreciate that, man.
How have you? Are you situated? Are you okay? Good. Girls say Jack looks like Aquaman. What do you guys think?
Okay.
Ladies love Aquaman.
Jack, guess. We're not going to say it on camera, but guess where I saw a boo? Guess where we had seen each other? No. Where do I go like once a week? No, I've actually cut back on that. Bro. Smart guy, bro.
See, I was gonna be like strip club. Never like, but no, I don't think that was.
Not up near you.
No.
Not in your area.
No, there's
bro.
some bad ones up near our spot. There's some not so safe ones.
Yeah.
One cool fun fact though about the North Shore, you know all right. So have you ever seen That's My Boy with Adam Sandler?
Listen, before you even say any of this stuff,
Yeah,
you're from Beverly,
yeah.
dude. You guys remember that scene in The Proposal, the Ryan Gosling movie, at the Sitka Airport? They actually filmed that at the Beverly Airstrip.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Dude.
That's actually dope.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that. No.
All I had to do was search on Wikipedia, bro.
See, I believe it. Beverly's got some pretty cool stuff.
Well, it seems like that's been a site for a bunch of movies recently.
Yeah, they did Grown Ups out there and stuff like that too. But it was cool. So like when they did That's My Boy, the strip club that's in Danvers, there's this, or like Danvers, PB line. It's I can't even think of the name of it right now. But they ended up converting it into another strip club for the movie called Steak and Legs, or like something like Legs and Eggs, I think it was. And they like literally changed the whole top to make it look like a girl is like a cowgirl is on the top of the thing and everything. And it was like kind of wild, like those news places everywhere. But like they redid the strip club and made it like poppin' for like a week and a half. Like it was mad funny.
You were present?
I never went in, but
Don't
like
lie
I
to
just
us,
from
bro.
outside. Yo, it's one of those places that like I went to when I was mad young, and like with like a fake ID back in the day. But like once you're like of age, you're like, nah, I don't think I need to go there anymore. You're like it's one of those sketchy places. But
There was one in Billerica. Have you know what I'm talking
Mac
about?
2s? Is that the one? Yeah, that was the infamous, like when you turn 18, that's where you go and you get the t-shirt and like you bring it back and you show your friends and I never went by friends that went.
I will never forget going to that place ever. And I don't want to disparage anybody because I was dead sober, man. I thought like, hey man, I'm 18, this might be kind of fun. We left traumatized.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not a strip club fan. I feel like it's a different world there, man. It's a different world.
There's a certain barbarism that happens in strip clubs.
It's such a
dudes
great...
act like different humans. In
Yo,
strip
it's
clubs,
real.
bro.
It's real. And like there's like some weird like torture stuff that goes on there too. Like
Dead ass though.
Like when it's someone's birthday, like yeah, come on up, we're gonna torture you, and then you're gonna send you on your way. And like
we're gonna embarrass you in front of everybody.
Everyone. Like I was like, I remember being like you said, like mortified. Like wow, they do this. Like you do this to your friends. Like it's just like it was crazy.
I've seen them put a ball in a dude's mouth and then hit him with a leather whip in the head. Literally. And like disparage him. I've seen this stuff happen. Jack's seen it happen.
Yo,
it's real shit.
So we went to Philly for my friend's bachelor party. This was probably the craziest strip club I've ever been to in my life. And I've not been to many. So Philly. It was a bring your own BYOB strip club. First off. And dangerous. That was the first like warning sign that we should have known. Second
Definitely
was
illegal.
Sketchy as hell. Second one, this woman offered to like Lysol this room in the back for us, and we wanted to go back there. Sign number 2. Sign number 3 was they bring our buddy up for his the bachelor thing, and he was like, actually I'm sorry, they bring up someone else, and then he sees that and he's like, you know what? Don't let me do this. So we see someone else go up, and they're literally pulling out this dude's armpit hairs and stuff like that, and just torturing him. And I'm just in there like, we should probably. I think this is the 3rd sign now, so I think it's good. I think it's a good time to go.
Oh my god!
We walk outside to try and hail a cab, and like we're like, yo, where should we get a cab? There's a guy outside eating Checkers chickens, and they're like, I'll give you a ride, and we're like, you know what? Like, we gotta get that. We gotta get as far from here as humanly possible.
What part of town
now.
were you in, bro?
We were not in the best part of town. I'm gonna say I don't know much about Philly, but I know that's not necessarily the place to be in that particular corner.
Armpit hair.
Yo, it was wild.
Gruesome, dude.
Dude, they had a belt around this dude's neck, and they just tortured this guy. Like it was just like it was. I felt like
he probably paid extra for it.
His boys were loving it. I was in there like, I'm sorry, we're not doing this to our friend. Like we can't do this to our friend.
His boys loved it.
Yo, it was wild. That was like my first Philly experience, so that was pretty cool.
And now you're never going back.
I've been back very few times since, but it's been much better since. Yeah, great rolled ice cream, great cheesesteak.
I don't know if they're ushering in here. Whoa, what time is it? 11 to 4. Okay, cool. We got like 6 minutes. You guys got any questions? I got like 10 more. I could open my notes, but can you shit on how you, for all the rap fans out there, how you worked for Joyner?
Yeah, so
and Hopsin, right?
Yeah. So like all those are actually really dope stories. So Joyner I knew through. So when I first A good friend of mine, Knox Beats. He's now does like tons of production and but mainly all the engineering for Joyner.
That's Justin Clancy was talking about.
And, he works closely with Clancy, Token as well. Really good friend. I've known him for years. He's actually the first producer battle I ever did. Him and I went head to head in the finals for that.
Who won?
He won, and he killed me. Like, I'm not even gonna front. Like, he smashed me at that time. Like as far as a pause at that time. Like, and it was killer. But no, it was a good battle. Like it was my very first production battle. Learned a lot. You know what I mean? Really good dude though. But he killed it that night. And
the events are strange. Those production battles. I've seen Hum Beats. I saw one of Hum Beats' ones.
Yeah.
He actually annihilated the dude he was against. But like, it's like you play a beat and then everyone just like watches. Mm-hmm. And then you switch, right?
Yeah, and it's cool.
I feel like the second person always has leverage though, because it's the more fresh beat, right?
It's like the freshest 2 years, exactly. It's always like the advantage of playing like later, they say, than earlier, just because like you can kind of, it's like stays like you said in your head fresher, and then like you always got to act it out too. Like some people get into it and they're like, yeah, like listen, you know what I mean, and do all this stuff too. So it's like it's fun. It's so weird for me because I'm just like more like kind of like shy, just like I hope people like this. You know what I mean? When you play and other people are like, I know this is dope. Yeah, and just like. Here comes the build up, and like, you know what I mean. So it's like, yeah, exactly. And so like it's dope. Everyone's got their own style for it, and so it's cool. So like but so that's how me and Knox originally met. And so Knox ended up like when we first got together, like back at my mom's crib. We were in the studio there, and he was telling me that like. He was like, yo, there's this artist I really want to work with. Like, check out this guy, and he ends up being this dude, Joyner Lucas. And
for reference, Joyner, from what I know, is from a completely different area in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
from like the
Western
Worcester
Mass.
area.
Yeah,
which is
like a good hour and a half away from me personally.
Live, yeah.
And Knox is in New Hampshire, so that's even further from him. But he's seen him and like showed me this video. I think it was like Words with Friends or something like that he did, and it was so dope. And he was like,
was it that basketball video?
It was like right before that. It was like around that time though, like a little bit before that. And so it was a video of him in the studio just rapping, and then like at one point it gets like kind of digital, and like the video is him rapping, but it also shows like you know, almost like a light bright of his face type of thing. It was really cool, but really innovative and different, and like it was really dope. And so like he killed that, and he's like, oh, I want to work with this dude. So he ends up like working with this guy later on, and ended up, you know, being his full-time engineer. So at one point, I don't even remember what happened, but he's putting out a bunch of music, and I'm like, yo, this dude's actually really dope. Like I really liked what he was doing, and sonically and content wise, I just loved the content. Like he was writing like really, really dope lyrics, and the production was really innovative. So it was like cool, but he also like could do all the different styles and genres, like, and everywhere in between. So like when I think I reached out to him on Facebook, and I was like, hey man, like shot in the dark, but like I just made this beat, and I can like hear you on it. Like I could just like hear your voice on it, and like I'd love to send it to you. I'm like, I think he got back to me like pretty soon, like right after that, and like messaged back like, yo, send it, here's my email. And I didn't expect that like at all, and I was like, oh, all right, word. So I sent him the email, and he's like, yo, this is dope. And then so I'm like, all right, cool. But sometimes you don't know what's gonna happen. Like are they gonna use it, or like, so I didn't really know what was going on. So fast forward like maybe like a month or two later, we go to New York for like this event, and it's like a cypher event for Team Backpack, and it's me, Token, Colin. I think that was it at the time. So I lose my job basically because I go to this trip, because I was like, when it came to music, I was like,
where were you working at the time?
I was just working at a restaurant. It was like just at a spot in like Woburn.
Oh, Liberty Tree or no?
No, a little bit further.
Okay,
but it was dope. It was like a good like southwestern place. Pretty good food.
Was it Chipotle, bro?
Damn it, you got it. No, they were really good. It was it's called Masa. Bomb food though.
Shout out to Masa. John was just pursuing his dream, man.
Yeah, man.
Didn't mean anything by it.
I swear, man. I would have showed up if it was anything else, you know? But basically, like, you know, they were like, you know, if you can't come in, try and get coverage. Couldn't get coverage. And I was like, yeah, I'm going. So, like, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So, lost my job, go out there. Days, like, kind of like, we get, you know, stuck in, you know, classic trip, going to New York, just stuck in crazy traffic, to and from. I think it's coming back to, like, 9 hours. Just like a tough day, you know. Go to do the ciphers. Get a parking ticket when I run out to go pay the ticket. So but I missed Ben's cipher, missed Token's cipher. So I was like, damn, it just felt like a rough day. So on the way back, pull into Token's driveway, drop him off. I look at my phone and see the email, and it's an email from Joyner, and he's like, yo, this is dope. I got a video treatment for this already. Like, I'm definitely using this. And I'm like, how serendipitous, you know what I mean? Of like all that stuff kind of like happened the way it did. I was like, damn, like. The timing just could not have been like at a better time, you know, to get that. So like at that time I was like, all right, that kind of just gave me the boost I needed. And then from there it was just like, all right, let's do this. So the song came to light, and the vision came to light. The video was amazing.
Which song was that?
Champagne for Everybody.
Okay, word.
And I love the song. I think he killed it, flowed it over the production. Knox killed the mix. Knox also added like a dope horn sample at the end. I think he had someone actually play the horn at the end, and it came out phenomenal. And I just love the record. Always a record I've been extremely, extremely proud of to this date. And so it's dope. And then we were all on tour together. And then so like when we all went on tour was myself with Token, Joyner, and then Hopsin. And so like we did a whole U.S. tour together for 6 weeks after that.
You lived a crazy life, bro.
Yeah, it's been wild. So it's like I'm just very appreciative of every experience and grateful for it.
What was the tour like?
Tour was amazing. Like you learn a ton, learn a lot about what I love being a producer, and also being able to see it from the DJ perspective was really dope to see how people move to production and like see like what causes people to like mosh, what causes people to jump, or to turn up, what causes people to like do like a wavy dance as opposed to like jumping like crazy.
I'm sure it's a much different experience just like working on your beats in a studio as opposed to like actually hearing them live. I mean, Abu's a
Absolutely.
DJ, so
that's huge. Like I feel like seeing how people respond to the music and then being able to take that back home to the studio again, like that's priceless. You know what I mean? To be able to like really see like how people respond to your music firsthand.
I'm just gonna put us on Instagram live for a bit as we just wrap up here.
But like I always thought that was like such an incredible experience, and like from that, and then so it went so good from the first tour that we ended up being asked back. We ended up being asked back to do Canada and then Europe, and so that's how we ended up like continuing to build relationships with all those guys. And then that was while we were on tour for Canada. Hopsin was like, "Yo, I need to do this track." And then like they reached out, like Jamie, his manager, who was amazing, and the rest of their team. They were like, "Do you have any beats?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me see what I can put together." Right before I left for tour, I actually sent the homie Kato some stuff to work on, and so like they asked him for some beats as well. So all of a sudden I get a text from Kato, and he's like, "Yo, I think I got a home for the beat that we made." And I was like, "Sick!" I hadn't even heard it yet. I didn't even know like what it was gonna sound like or anything. But I fully trusting. I know Kato's amazing, so I knew it was gonna be dope. And so we're all on the road, and Hopsin's like, "I need to record the song the next day." So I get a call from him, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got a beat from Kato that he said that you guys produced." And I was like how did like everything kind of just like aligned kind of crazy. And so he's like I'm gonna be recording this tomorrow, so like I might need your help with like recording and stuff like that. He ended up doing it all himself, but he's like, "Are you available in case there's anything?" He's like, "Do it," and like just want to give you a heads up about the beat and stuff. So we're like, "Dude, that's like crazy. That's awesome." So not only did that record happen, he ended up putting it out the next day with the video and everything. It's called Bust That. But that was also like the very
Go get that.
But like it was like the very first time that like he'd ever put out a song that he didn't produce as a single. Like ever. Like he's never ever put out a song that like he'd never produced. So like I was like that was like an honor in itself. So like that was pretty cool. And like all that stuff kind of snowballed.
Smooth effect right there, bro.
Just trying to, just putting out good energy and just trying to, deliver when the opportunity comes,
I will definitely attest. You definitely have great energy, man.
I appreciate it, man.
I feel like you rubbed off me today. I feel like everyone's going to have a good day now.
That's important, man. It's, I forget who said, I think it was Maya Angelou or something like that, but she's like, you can't always, people might always remember what you say or what you do, but they'll always remember how you make them feel. So that's something that's always stuck with me. I feel like it's our job in life to try and leave a good imprint, make people feel, hopefully have a good impact on somebody's life. Bill Murray too, by the way.
That was wildly poetic, bro.
Yeah. The Bill Murray effect.
Wait, can you say the quote one more time? They won't remember what you said or what you did, but you'll remember how they made you feel.
Yep.
Connor Holloway.
Bars.
Okay, so listen. I'm just going to go through here just to see if anybody, there were some questions. It was mostly your boys.
Yeah.
They were saying
probably playing around doing some funny questions.
Let me just
My sister, I heard she asked a very, very sisterly question, which is always good. She's like, "How does it feel to be related to me?" I'm like, "It's my sister."
Okay, quickly before you get kicked out. One, happy birthday.
Sorry,
I couldn't make the party.
No, it's all good, man. I appreciate it. It's every year, so you have to come to the next one. And hopefully we'll do more than just every year. We'll do like more of these parties, so it's good.
More birthday parties, bro?
Well, like more like studio parties. We're just going to make a birthday every few months. The annual quarterly birthday.
Like I'll have 4 birthday parties a year. That'd be fine.
Why not?
So, one thing about you, bro, is when I write these questions out, to be honest, I hate writing questions out. Hate it. It's awful. But it is a necessity sometimes. Wait, I just want to prepare it as it's written. So I watched Gray Sky Opus.
Oh, dope.
That visual was beautiful.
Thank you.
Why do producers not do ridiculous content rollouts like that? I didn't really type that right. But no, the question is like, why have producers not pushed their content game heavier? It's like I don't know many producers that are putting out like fire stuff online.
Well, I think for me when I first started, like I was always thought that, you know, as a producer, you always kind of play the background. You kind of more just like, you know, work with artists and you know, send beats and stuff like that. If the songs get made, all of a sudden that will travel and then things just continue to develop from there. That in reality, that's really not the case. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have to make your own luck, as they say. You know what I mean? You have to kind of make stuff happen for yourself. So while everything is snowballing or in a good way, like you have to continue to use that to then leverage the next opportunity. You know what I mean? So being a producer, you almost have to be the artist now. You have to put yourself out there as an artist and put out content like an artist. You know what I mean? Like you can't just like play the background like that like you used to. Like a lot of these producers are like, you know, now they're, instead of being just the produced by, they're even now coming up as featured by. And now you have people like DJ Khaled who are putting out albums, and Stack Selector's been doing it for years as a producer, like putting out these albums that he curates. He produces the whole thing, but he puts the artists that he chooses on it and stuff like that. And then he can tour off of that, where he also plays the music and DJs it. And it's just like, it's like a whole different world. Now, like doing remixes and things like that, it's like now as a producer, you really have to step out of your comfort zone of just being off camera and really be in the forefront.
Word. Okay. So listen, this is how we start and end the episode. One, I had a great time. Thank you, bro.
I had a great time too. I appreciate you having me.
For sure, man. We'll do it again soon. This is how we start and end episodes.
Yes.
So you say hi.
Hello. Hi.
I'm blank, your name. And this is my golden hour. Directly after no break, you say hi, I'm blank, and that was my golden hour.
Okay.
Frank, which camera you want us on, bro? What do you want, dog? Okay. And then wait, before you say this, if you mess this up, bro, I'm walking out of the interview.
Oh man, pressure.
For viral impact.
The pressure.
The Boston podcaster walks out of interview after contentious ending.
So can you repeat the script one more time?
Hi, I'm blank, and this is my golden hour. Because this will go at the start.
And then this was.
And then that was.
That was. Okay.
I got a feeling you're going to get it right, bro.
I got this. Hi, I'm Jon Glass, and this is my golden hour. Hi, I'm Jon Glass, and that was my golden hour.
Well executed.
Yes, he didn't walk out.
From an intellectual guy. I was kind of wishing you did mess up.
Yeah, I was like, my brain was like, all right, come on, you gotta get this. You gotta get this.
Good over there, Frank? Good over there? Yeah.